Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man, and we're looking at a JANOME 1600P, 1600P, and this is a real nice machine. A lot of people like it's got the big opening here. The people who are quilters, the folks who sew on some heavy stuff. Pretty nice little machine. I have a lot of customers that have this or a version of it because a lot of different manufacturers, you know, Juki and Elna and Baby, everybody makes a version of this. Same platform, and it has the industrial style hook assembly, bobbin case. Shaft goes all the way across to a pretty good size pulley, pretty good size motor. It's got the adjustable pressure on top. Got the range in here so you can see what's going on as far as how much pressure you have, so you can take your pressure off. You can put a free motion quilting foot on there, cover your feeders up or take your feeders off, and you can do free motion quilting with it. And it's a pretty versatile little machine. Has a variable speed, which is good. You can fly if you want to fly, or you can creep if you're piecing, don't want to get real crazy with it. It'll get up and go. Very fast machine, and that's very industrial-like. I have industrial customers who have the full-size industrial machines, and they have this right alongside it, and they use one for one thing, one for another. This is not a full-size industrial machine. They'll call it a semi-industrial or almost an industrial, but an industrial has on a stand, has a motor down underneath it, either a regular motor or a regular pulse motor. They have all kinds of different motors, but this is a household machine. It's for household applications. You can put it on a quilting frame, and the good thing about it being a side load, when you're on a quilting frame, of course, it's turned around, and the operator stands over here and operates it from the handles on the excuse me, quilting machine platform. But it has a regular industrial setup on the side, and it threads outside in. So this is the business side over here, and to be facing you. So it's a good little machine. I recommend it. I'm not a big fan of the knife system. It has the knife, and you hear the clickety click underneath. It has an electronic actuator over there and a cam actuator in the center that's made out of nylon, and I've seen them break. I haven't seen them on this model break on the JANOME. I've seen them break on the Juki. I don't know if they're the same exact thing or not. I'm just telling you what I know for sure. I've seen them break on this version of the Juki. I've never seen them break on the JANOME, but it's nylon. I guess it's possible. Depends on how hard that thing hits. But if it does break, it's a dealer replacement, and it's kind of pricey. So keep that in mind. If I would get one of these, I wouldn't mind having you get one of these, but I would just skip the whole knife thing, because at one point it's going to break, I think. I'm not sure. But that's the only Achilles heel to it that I see. I see a lot of customers that have this. They like them. They like having the little knee lift lever down here. You put it in, you use your knee to lift up the presser foot in the back. And it's got enough features that it makes it real popular. It's not lightweight. I think with all the doodads and everything on it, it's about 30 to 32 pounds. So it's not something you're going to want to go schlepping around to the quilt retreats, although I see them at quilt retreats. People bring two of them, you know, because they have the roll-around carriers, and they load them up, and they still are strong enough to do that, and bless them for doing it, because they're heavy, and it's got a nice little handle up here on top, so if you know, focus on lifting properly and don't goof up, yeah, it can be done. So I see them at the quilt retreats. So portables, it's a matter of translation, whether it's a portable or not, because they weigh 32 pounds, and that's getting into the not so portable range, but I see them all the time, hither and yon, at quilt retreats and bees and get together. So it's got the needle up, needle down, which is nice. You know, you turn the corner and go around. A lot of people like that. It's got an auxiliary bobbin winder on top. We've been doing the bobbin winder series lately, and this might be somebody out there may be electronic whiz-bang kind of guy, and they can just put an electronic, if you got a machine that has a broken bobbin winder mechanism, because we're getting a lot of those these days because they're fragile, and some are plastic, some are cast, like with the zinc and stuff, and they'll break. So I guess you could mount one of these up there and put the right power to it and wind away. You know, that baby will just wind all day long. It's got a separate motor and everything. It plugs into the board. But that's an option. It's kind of cool. But I won't be doing that because life's too short. My life is too wonderful. Freudian slip. My wife is wonderful too, but my life is wonderful, and I don't want to get bogged down in stuff like that. But there's people out there that know this stuff like the back of their hand, and they can probably put together an electronic bobbin winder and stick it over there on an old Kenmore, and it would be amazing. Maybe have flashing lights. Maybe it would play music and talk to you. I don't know. If they felt like doing it, they probably would, because these guys are pretty brilliant. Anyhow, it's a good little machine, and I'm going to get this one all packed up and get it back to the customer. She sews up a storm up there in Frisco, and we're going to get her going. And just thought I'd let you see this JANOME 1600P. The only downside is the little yakety yak knife down there. It'll cut until it decides to not cut, and then it's you and the dealer getting it sorted out. All right, nice little machine. Takes this wacky little HLX5 needle. I wanted to throw that in and let you know that HLX5. It's got a little beefier for a high-speed machine. A little beefier shaft on it there. They're almost identical to a regular HA1, regular standard Singer or Schmitz needle, but they say HL5 for the high-speed machines because you get a lot of stress on the needle at high speed. But if you're piecing, no big deal. You're not going to be running high speed. If you're sewing drapes or you're sewing bedspreads, or I don't know what you might be sewing, but if you get really rolling, you can get the needle pretty warm. So maybe that HLX5 is what you need. But there's a lot of discussion online about the HLX5, and people say I don't use it. Some people say, oh, I got to use it. So you guys can sort all that out. It will run with a HA1 regular Singer 2045 or a Schmitz Stretch or a Schmitz Universal. And I know that because I put them in there, ran them high speed to make sure they would work before I would tell you that. So the debate goes on. You know how it is. Anything you bring up, everybody goes, no, you're wrong. I know it's this because somebody told me that. I was at a quilt get together and some guy said that. So you know how that is. So make up your own mind on that. But HLX5 is what they recommend. I've used others successfully, and so have my customers. If you got one, use it. If you don't, find what you need. All right? Appreciate it. Thanks.